Hi, Slumber Party listeners. It's your host, Tim Murray, wanting to remind you to make sure you're subscribed to this channel so you can stay up to date on all of these interviews. Also, make sure you subscribe to iHeart Radio Broadway Network. I do all sorts of bonus episodes there that aren't available on YouTube. And make sure you're subscribed to my Patreon because you can get extra interviews with these guests, extra interviews with Jessica Vosk, Ben Fankhauser, Andrew Keenan Bolger, and so many more people. Enjoy today's interview. Thanks for watching. Hello, my lovely, queefy little Slumber Party listeners. It's your host, Tim Murray, and you're, of course, listening to the podcast where I interview Broadway stars, drag queens, and comedians about their slumber party experiences growing up. And today we have someone who I've been a fan of for a very long time. I'm so excited to have him in the house. I don't know if you've ever heard of Stephen Sondheim. It's not Stephen Sondheim, but someone who is very familiar with Stephen Sondheim was in, I don't know if you've ever heard of Sunday in the Park with George, or, and we're really going to get into this, Bonnie and Clyde on Broadway, and of course, the current revival of Company. Please welcome to the stage, Claybourne Elder.
Da, 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 da. Hello, my name's Claybourne Elder. And my platform is Broadway. I don't know, I was being a beauty queen. Hi, how are you?
Please always be a beauty queen at me. Please, hello. Let's do our real beauty queen entrances. Hi, I'm Timothy R. Murray, and my platform is the sky. I would like to keep it blue. So please do your best to do good and no recycling. Yes to recycling.
Recycling's good.
Recycling's good. What would your talent be?
What would my talent? Well, it would be like fire batons, but I don't know how to do that at all. But I would either learn or actually maybe I would purposefully not learn at all and then just light some batons on fire on stage and be like, oh fuck, what is this gonna be like? And I would throw them and things would catch on fire and I wouldn't win, but they would remember me.
That is all that matters. She said, I'm really going for it today. I'm going for just the sheer memory of this happening, of me fully lighting myself on fire.
It's true.
Wow.
I'm glad I've needed to get that out for a while. So I feel like I feel like weight has been lifted.
I feel really good. I feel really good about that. Are you a Drag Race person? Do you watch Drag Race? It's okay if not.
No, I do. I haven't seen every season, but I've seen many seasons.
There is a season that many people haven't seen, but the Drag Race Thailand, I think it's only available on Wow Presents Plus. Okay. In the second season of Drag Race Thailand, Clay, I'm not kidding you. It's like almost every single runway, somebody lights themselves on fire. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Well, if that isn't a review that makes someone need to watch something, wow.
If you're into the runway part of the show, there is nothing like this season. Like, these girls literally walk out there, I'm not kidding, on more than one occasion, fire. A girl lights her entire skirt on fire and it engulfs her whole body and she does like a spin out of it, and they yell at her because they're like, this show isn't worth losing your life. Please don't scare us like that again. They're really going for it.
I mean, my two favorite things are Drag Race runways and self-immolation. So I feel like that's the perfect marriage of my interests. I don't know why I haven't seen it yet. I mean,
wow, I love that combination. I love that combination for you so much.
Really, it always keeps them guessing. I haven't seen, I think I knew there was a Drag Race Thailand, but I've not seen, it's not RuPaul. RuPaul's not.
It's not RuPaul. It's these drag queens who are in Thailand who are amazing. One of them's name is Pangina Heels, and she's so fierce, and then like literally the hottest man out of drag that you've ever seen in your life. And they're really, really passionate and really fun. But I mean, it's hard to keep up now because now there's like Drag Race Pasadena, Drag Race Westchester,
Drag Race everything. And I support it. I love it. I'm very, very into it. But there are so many that I can't keep up.
Did you watch the finale this past week?
I did.
What did you think?
I mean, I don't know. Can we spoil? Can we spoil anything?
Absolutely. I recap
Okay.
it for Screen Rant, and I
Oh,
posted my
or
recap the next day, and somebody was like, "Thanks for the spoiler." I'm like, if you're
what if you
not,
do recap notes? Yeah.
yeah, what, like, what? And also, it's out there now. Like, you can, otherwise, just don't get on the internet. Is my
That's good.
rule with it.
You know what? You make a great point. So I was 100% Team Simone, adore, love, all about it from day one. Total star, like a star quality that I just haven't even seen that much of on that show. Because even the things she didn't do well, she was like, I don't do this well. It's not going to be my thing. Like, and
Yeah,
she tried, but she's like, this, I'm not going to do this outside. Like, it felt like she really knew who she was and knew where her strengths were. And she showed up for her strengths and they killed it. Ah,
really did. I'm like trying to liken her to what, like a Broadway star who has that kind of stage presence, like that kind of thing where you can just stand on stage and people are staring at you when you're barely doing anything.
Heather Headley. Heather Headley.
Yes,
That is that. I mean,
yes.
to me personally, like everybody has different, but oh my God, I went, first of all, Aida was the first Broadway show I ever saw, front row. I got sweat on by the boys spinning around, the Egyptian boys. And then I went to see Color Purple when she was in it 3 times. Yes,
I saw
Cynthia
it with her
Erivo,
too.
Heather
Oh my
Headley.
God.
I wanted all Heather Headley all the time.
Didn't you feel, I felt like she was bringing, I saw Jennifer Hudson in it as well, and just, that show's incredible. When Heather Headley did it, I was like, are you bringing a witchy energy to this? I felt like she was like doing things with her hands where I was like, oh, you're entrancing this woman. This is
Ooh,
next level exciting to me.
I love that. You
I
will make
really felt like,
Hannah.
yes, yeah. I was like, she's, yeah. Remember, Whitney, remember, Celie, remember.
Wow.
That's how I felt. Heather Headley, you're so right. I mean, and truly, what an icon. You watch any of those clips of her, the clips of Heather Headley in, was it The Bodyguard that
Hmm.
she did in London?
Good God.
And she's singing these iconic Whitney songs and making them her own in a way where you're like, how dare you? Also, I would even liken Simone to like an Elaine Stritch with
Oh
what
yeah.
you're saying of like, yeah, maybe she knows she's not, Elaine Stritch wasn't the most famously amazing vocalist in the world, but when she stood on a stage and was performing, you're like, I cannot take my eyes off of what's happening
That's
here.
an excellent point, and I totally agree with you. Just that there's that star quality thing that is just balls to the walls confidence and still and a grace that is just like you're confident, but I don't hate you. And that's what, like that's what to me is that kind of magic is that's the person I want to watch always.
Ooh, and I think that that's exactly what you said is what the show is for me, is why I love it. Your confidence without crossing the line into cockiness. Like it's truly just like I own who I am and you're going to love that.
Absolutely.
It's so
Isn't it
good.
wonderful to watch? My husband had never watched a season until quarantine. And I was like, I kept saying to him, you, specifically you, will love this, but you just don't like the like culture. You don't like the like, you're just not, you're turned off by the popularity of it because that's who he is. And we watched All Stars, or we watched the season that went into quarantine and they all did it from home. I think that was All Stars, right? And he
Stars
became
5.
that. Yes,
You
yes.
started him with All Stars 5, Clay, and
Ah,
that means that he really likes the show. If that got him into it, I mean, whew, that season was I recapped that season and I just was, you always, I try to be as kind as possible, but and I know a lot of people who work on the show, obviously, so but man, they really were putting us through it with.
oh my God, yes. It was a lot.
I rewatched All Stars 2 in this pandemic, and now I'm like, this was it's a little unfair to the other All Star seasons because that was such perfect television.
Mhm. Oh my God.
It
It was
was
Good.
so good. And then who are your husband's like top queens? Like who are girls that you would like love to
I
see?
um I love Trixie Mattel.
Never heard of her.
Right? I don't even know. Eh, My husband Eric is obsessed with Simone. Fully obsessed with Simone.
I get it.
Chris,
I
and we
get it.
both loved Crystal Method too. We both totally
Oh,
like loved Crystal Method. Who else?
Crystal Method is a really, really good one. She's one I'm very excited to see, hopefully on an All Stars, like whatever looks those are going to be. The elevated All Stars looks for
Oh,
her, I feel like are going to be out
no.
of this world. All Stars 5 was also hard because season 12 was, in my opinion, so good.
Yeah.
The season before this one, Crystal Method, Gigi Good, Jada, Heidi in
Be good.
Closet.
Yeah.
I
Oh, that was
mean,
great. Yeah. We watched that one. He watched that one too.
I mean, I feel like that's a really good entry season because you're just like, I feel like the key is having really high, excellent drag and then really, really great reality TV personalities
Yeah.
and
And a
say what you
broad
want about her.
like the spectrum of this of that cast was, and I don't even mean just color, I mean just quality, talent, strengths,
Types of
showing up,
drag.
like
Yeah.
just like this broad spectrum of things. And it was really, that made it very exciting. Because it was
And it
like
really,
putting apples against oranges in some competitive, you know, things. And so it was like, I don't know which ones anybody could pull ahead when, you know.
which is why it's so fun. Yeah, it's so fun when that happens because, like, in season 6, I think about all the time, for instance, because you have like Courtney Act, who's this unbelievable look queen, and then Bianca Del Rio, who couldn't be more different, like, just jokes on jokes on jokes, and then Adore Delano, who's like completely a personality queen. That's what season 12 felt like. I felt like because there were so many girls with like completely different points of view. It was so fun.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. I mean, I know I've seen probably like 5 seasons of the show, 4 seasons of the show. I can't even remember. I feel like what I should have done during quarantine was go back and watch them all because I had time. Except that at the same time, I was a person with a 3-year-old during quarantine, and quarantine was not sitting around watching TV all day. It was playing with a 3-year-old all day, which was awesome and fun. But also, I didn't like watch all of Lord of the Rings or things that everybody kept posting about. I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm cutting out construction paper circles and gluing them onto other construction paper circles.
Honestly, how did you do that? How did you do this year? Every parent I talk to, I'm like, I bow at the altar of you. I cannot imagine.
Well, you know, I think we were lucky in that if he had been 7 and had to go to school and we had to like homeschool elementary school or middle school, that would have been very difficult because at those ages, they are really not self-sufficient enough. In high school, really tough, but at least there is a like, they can do it on their own a little bit. I feel lucky that we had a toddler. And actually, we were kind of gifted this amazing 8 months to, a year of just being with him all the time in a way that, when the pandemic hit, I was in company on Broadway. We were totally blindsided. We were in previews, so we were rehearsing all day long, performing at night. Like, I didn't know anything was going on in the world. And when the shutdown happened, all of us were like, what's happening? We immediately, I'm in my underwear in that show. And so I'd been like eating very, very well. And the day we shut down, I got a pizza and a carrot cake. And we drove to our house upstate and I ate for like a solid 3 days. And it was like the best 3 days of my life. And then we just stayed upstate and now we're still upstate. And I feel like I had been working so hard that I'd been missing out a little bit on time with my son just for, like that last month. And so it was really, it was the bizarre gift of this was getting to spend so much time with him and getting to know him so well. So,
That's
it was,
so sweet and so beautiful. I love the video. I just watched another interview with you, and the video started out with you playing the guitar, and he's playing like kind of playing the bongos on like a bucket. It's the cutest thing I've ever seen. Have you always wanted to be a dad?
Yes, I have. Twice in my life at like joke award shows, I have been voted most likely to be a mom. Once in high school, once in college. Not a dad, most likely to be a mom because I give off a lot of mom energy where I'm just like I'm very nurturing and I like to cook and I like to take care of people and so
You're always bringing in the Rice Krispie treats at every
tell my
Broadway
therapist about it.
show.
Yeah, exactly. So I always knew that I wanted to. I didn't know that it was possible. I was a Mormon kid growing up in Utah. Um, I didn't I didn't have any. There was no representation. There was no like. I didn't know a gay family. I didn't know anybody any gay parents. Um, I'd known people who were married, had kids, and got divorced and were gay, but that's a very different situation than somebody a gay person who wants to have kids. And we always said that if we somehow the money showed up, that we would just put it away and save it for a surrogacy. And actually, when we got married, we registered for a baby. We set up this like online site
On Pottery Barn? Yeah.
where you could go and you could like donate. You could donate like we had all
Baby.
joking things, yeah, but it was like giving us money towards a baby, and that was our little nest egg towards getting a baby. So like everybody who came to our wedding gave us our baby, and essentially, like in a sense, we that like it takes a village, and that was our village, and that was the start of it.
Okay, I'm sobbing, crying. That is so beautiful. Wow, I'm really that really just hit me. That's so cool. We talk a lot about community, and I think that's been the main thing missing for all of us in this last year and a half. What an incredible thing that your community of friends and family helped make that happen for you guys to have a fam.
Yeah, and the support of like I come from a very conservative background, especially on my dad's side. It's a very old Mormon family, and I was most surprised by the support of that side of the family, and cousins that I don't even really know that well who were giving me money and showed up at my wedding and were like, yeah, we just support you. You're our family. I don't know. We'll figure this thing out. We'll figure out what we feel about you being gay, but it doesn't matter. You're getting married and we're going to be there.
Wow, wow, wow,
And
wow.
we were very lucky. I mean, not that every single person was like wearing a rainbow flag around their shoulders as they walked in, but I was very lucky in that. And so yeah.
Your conservative relatives are all of a sudden like, Team Simone, Team Gottmik over here. Okay, let's watch a wedding.
That's exactly right. That's
Isn't
not going
it
to happen.
truly amazing though that the needle has moved even this much? Because like you're saying, I didn't grow up Mormon, but I grew up very Catholic in Ohio, and like you were saying, I did not have any representation that I saw. I think the really hard reality that I've been unpacking in therapy, not to get too deep, but let's go there.
Mhm.
I teach kids a lot as like a side hustle, and I really love it. I love working with children, and there is this really strange thing inside of me that happens when like other adults or parents see me around kids, where some shame story comes up where I think these people don't think that I'm supposed to be doing this. And I was recently, like just before the pandemic, denied a babysitting job because they were like, well, we'd rather have a female. And I was like, whoa, I mean, I'm a very privileged white man. Like, I don't, I'm not saying I'm like oppressed in hardly any way, but it was strange to me. I was like, it sent me kind of on a spiral of like, I've always wanted to be a dad. And it makes me feel really weird that you don't, you're implying that I won't be a good nurturer because I'm a man is like deeply wrong.
It is. That is very strange. And I understand what you're saying, that it's not, yes, it is not like a crazy act of discrimination, but still like the implications of, well, you're a man, you're not going to do as good a job. Or also that they're just like, we don't trust a man alone with our baby or a gay man alone with our baby. there is that sort of like, is that part of, like in the back of your head, it does feel like, is that part of what's happening here? I don't know.
Yeah, whether it's true or not, it's like the
Whether it's true or
weird
not.
way we were raised from our generation and obviously the generations before us is like that story is still somewhere ingrained in me, and it just feels so strange. So all that to say, I just think it's so amazing that the needle is moving and that your conservative relatives did come and were supportive in as much as they could be, and that you guys are giving representation. Like looking at your Instagram, I was just like, wow, this possible for me and for so many other people. It's so cool.
Yeah. Because also the other thing, we're it's very expensive to have a baby if you don't have a uterus, and you have to borrow somebody else's, and if you want to do a surrogacy. And we did, and but we're not filthy rich, and a lot of the gay men who we know who have kids are like, they have a lot of
Filthy
money.
rich.
They're
Yeah.
filthy rich. It's great, especially we're in New York City. Of course, like the gays rule the city, and
Yeah,
but
in New York City, your friends are like, yeah, I'm a lawyer slash senator slash I own a construction company, very
yeah,
casually, and a catering
my
company.
grandmother is in the royal family in Switzerland. It's not a big deal, whatever.
Right, right.
You're like, oh, great. Was it hard
Oh,
for you?
cool.
But we're, like, we're just normal people. And I think that that's why people respond to us on Instagram, is that, we're navigating the public school system. We're just people trying to be good dads who that our son is not going to have crazy amounts of privilege. But we're fine. Like, again, I am a totally like privileged, white man who has been given every opportunity. But he is, like, we're not sending him to the most expensive private school in New York City, and he's going to live that life. So it is nice to be like, no, normal gay people who can be dads and have a family, and let's live normal lives.
And I think for any performers listening to this, which a lot of people who listen to this are, I think, gay, straight, whatever, it's very exciting and admirable to be seeing anyone who makes their living as a performer raising children, because it is so hard. I remember when Jessie Mueller won her Tony Award and thanked her parents and said, like, they were actors in Chicago and they inspired us to do this, and they were able to, put food on our table as actors their whole lives. And isn't that incredible? And it's true. It's like we forget, especially during this pandemic time, it's like the world needs entertainment. They need entertainers. And so we have to figure out a system where, we are able to afford to live. I tried to buy a car yesterday and was so taken aback by the like extra money on money on money insurance and all that. And when I tell you, when I drive, I'm in love. I'm alive. Clay, Clay. Okay, not to completely nerd out at you, but I'm just going to actually. I listen to that song so often in the car. It's not right.
Oh, that makes me very happy. That makes me very happy.
I
That's not me at
love
all. I appreciate it a lot.
I love that show. I was working at a regional theater, making like $300 a week, and my contract ended. I came back to see your closing night,
Oh my
and
God.
I walked up to the box office and was like, "Do you have any tickets left for tonight?" And he goes, "We have one ticket for $150." And I was like, that's half my paycheck from last week. Like, I can't. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't afford it. And I turned around and walked away. And he goes, "We also have a ticket for $25." I was like, ah!
Wow, he was
And so I got that
playing
ticket,
you.
and
Jeez,
I know,
hard
they
sell,
really.
hard sell. I
But
get
like, also props to him making his like, $15 an hour, being like, I'm gonna
it.
get this money for this show. But
Yeah,
I saw the closing night, and I just loved it so much. I thought it was so fun.
thank you. It's amazing to be, that's one of those shows that we had this very short Broadway run, and we'd been working on the show, kind of the core four of us had been working on the show for years, literally, like, 3 years, 2 out of towns, all these workshops, all this stuff. So it was incredibly sad when it closed because we were this little family and weren't going to be together every day anymore. And so I was very sad about it, and then as the years went on, and it's lived on in this crazy way that like the cast album people listen to, and the pirated the pirated videotapes or whatever. I love teaching. I teach workshops a lot and or master classes, and I often go to master classes and people will be like, oh my God, I loved you and Bonnie and Clyde. And they're like 20 years old. Like, you did not see Bonnie and Clyde. How do you know I was good in it? They're always like, oh, well, we watched the pirated video. But hey, in this instance, it's nice that it has gone out into the world and continued to have a life, because it was very, very special to all of us. And it was my Broadway debut. It was huge for me. So I appreciate it. Thank you for saying that. Thank you for listening to it.
I loved it. Was it cool to make your Broadway debut as like a major lead in a show?
It was crazy. Yeah. And exciting. And it goes by, you're just so wrapped up in the process and doing it and doing the work that it wasn't until after the whole thing was over that I was like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was very, very cool. Because you're just like, focusing on doing what you have to do every single day on stage. And it was very exciting.
That is so cool. I have a very embarrassing story from that show that I've never told that I'm going to share with you right now. I as a like a little fan of also we're talking about Bonnie and Clyde the musical. I think I didn't say that. I just referenced the song. Yeah. I messaged your co-star who played opposite you on Melissa on Facebook when when the Tony nominations came out. I sent her the longest Facebook message that was like, it is so inappropriate that you weren't nominated for a Tony. You were unbelievable in the show. Because I just remember being like, this woman is such a sickening actress. And her voice is so cool and so unique. I sent this long, long message. I don't know what I was thinking. I was just kind of like, I'm not 12 years old. Like I'm a potential colleague of hers. And I was just
Lovely.
like, you are so good. And it's unbelievable you didn't get the credit you deserve. And then she didn't respond. I was like, of course not. And then we were both the only two people in Fuel Smoothie. That like Fuel, I don't know if it's still there. It was on 9th Avenue.
Yes.
And I saw her look at me out of the corner of her eye and then leave. And I was like, well, that's so embarrassing. And then she messaged me back like right after that. I was like, it's just the serendipity of seeing each other in Fuel Smoothie that really brings people together.
You know what? It is very brave of you to do that. And that takes a lot of guts to write. I know, because I have written fan letters, I'm calling it. But you know what I mean? Like, when you reach out to a stranger who you saw perform and you're like, oh my God, that performance was amazing or changed me or meant something to me. That's a very vulnerable thing to do. And a lot of people don't do it, but it is very appreciated. And I'm sure that meant so much to her. I'm sure that meant so much to her in the time when she was feeling maybe looked over. And I completely agree with you. She is the most incredible actress I've ever worked with. And she made me better. I could have done that. There are parts of that show that made me exhausted. I could have done all of my scenes with her for another 5 years, because every single time we did it, we never did it the same. We never did it the same once.
I love that.
We were always exploring. We used to improv together about 15 minutes before curtain. Every single performance we ever did of that show, ever, we would go off somewhere by ourselves to be weird, because we knew it was super weird. And we would just improv in our characters for a few minutes with each other, just to kind of be with each other and be with our characters, have our characters kind of join. And I've just never had another experience where I have been on the same page with my co-star like that. We just fully trusted each other.
I love that. And it really is, it's so tragic when those experiences are over, because you're like, damn, we really linked up. Like, we really were so close. Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about Company?
See.
I have a really hardball question for you about Company. The question is 2 words, and it's Patti LuPone?
Patti LuPone and let me just start by saying this. Patti LuPone and I have the same birthday. And I was so nervous to like meet her and be rehearsing with her and be in the same room with her, whatever. And I happened to be like on our third day of rehearsal or something, I happened to be sitting next to her. Somehow people were talking about birthdays. And I, of course, knew that we had the same birthday.
I'm looking at your chart every single day, Patti.
Exactly. I'm like, but it came up and Patty and people were all saying their birthdays and Patty was like, mine is April 21st. And I was like, well, this is my Oscar winning performance. What? Your birthday is April 21st. Why? Goodness. Tried to
pull out a top hat. You pull out a cane. You have a monocle. All of a sudden.
Oh, lucky stars. I said it. I was like, oh, that's my birthday too. That's so amazing. She turned to me and took my face in her hands and looked at me in the eyes and said, dead seriously, that means we're soulmates. And I was like, my bowels immediately evacuated. I'm like, oh my God, my dreams, they're all coming true. And you know, she is very woo-wooey, and I have had nothing but the most incredible time with her. She has given me incredible advice. She has been reaching out. She's sent me presents, like all of us. She set up there. She has 2 dressing rooms, like made into one kind of, which is just how it works backstage at a Broadway house sometimes. That's not that strange, but it's like 2 rooms, I should say. And instead of having the 2 rooms, she made up one of the rooms into a bar that's just for the cast. And she would be like, hey, what do you want in the bar? What sort of snacks and what do you drink? To everybody, like not just me. She would be like, I want to make sure I have that special gin you drink so that you come and have drinks with me. That's all she wants. She just wants to be together. And I have this video of, it's a tiny dressing room, but almost the entire cast and production team crammed into this little dressing room, like on top of each other with martinis in our hands, playing the radio and singing. I have this video of us like swaying and singing on one of our last nights all together. And it's my happy place. It's the thing that I look at when I'm like, I'm sad. And I know we're going to come back and I can't wait to be together again. And I can only imagine how joyful, first of all, it will be to be together on the first day of rehearsal again. But doing the opening number of Company, having it end, I will be crying my face off, as will everybody else. I can't wait. But Patti LuPone, back to Patti LuPone, she has been delightful, charming, lovely. I've had a fantastic time with her. And we're soulmates. So.
And you're soulmates. That is so exciting. First of all, I'm so excited to see it. I cannot wait to see that show. I love that show. I mean, what gay person doesn't love that show? It's so good. I'm so excited to see it with a woman as Bobby. I think that's so great. I've never seen Katrina Lenk on stage before, but I'm very excited to, because I hear she's unbelievable. And the whole cast, like, come on. Christopher Sieber? Jennifer Simard?
Oh my God, yes.
Did you see Jen Simard in Disaster?
I saw Disaster off Broadway when it was at the somewhere. I don't remember where.
I did too. Like on Restaurant Row or something. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. I will never forget that performance as long as I live. I was just shocked and blown away.
Truly, like one of those, like I have no words. I just stuttered 8 times because it's truly like, it's so rare to sit in a theater and see somebody sing like that and then also have that kind of comedic timing. It's like, where did you come from and what is going on here?
Basically. And she is so funny in Company. It's unbelievable. And Chris Fitzgerald, it's an insane cast of people, all of whom are just so good at their job. They're just so good at it. And they're really lovely human beings, which is just a bonus. Sometimes I wish it weren't always just a bonus, but it is a bonus sometimes.
Yeah.
So it's such a delight to be at work every day with them.
Oh my God, I love that. Also, back to Patty, I think that is really, really fun backstage tea. And how cool and sweet of her to turn half of that into a bar. Clay, I promise I'm a very cool person. But there's there's a
Wow, I
huge
can see it.
part of me that is an 11-year-old a theater nerd through and through,
Totally, totally.
stage dooring, asking for autographs, theater nerd, messaging Melissa on Facebook. But so I've seen literally, I'm not kidding, every interview of Patty ever, every YouTube video, I listened to her book not once but two times through.
I have as well, actually. I won't lie. It's
Isn't
really
it?
fun. Oh, it's great.
To me, there's the three greatest books of all time ever written are Crime and Punishment, Patty's memoir, and Jessica Simpson's memoir. It, I'm not even kidding.
That is, what's funny is that's commonly the top three books.
In schools across the nation, they're actually that's the required reading list. They
Oh my
say,
God. AP
I'm not.
reading.
I'm not kidding.
Jessica
If
Simpson's book, it's good.
yes,
Wow. I
good
mean, I don't
is
know anything about her, but
exactly,
uh-huh.
exactly. I think none of us
Ooh.
really did until I read the book.
Ooh.
I think you would really love it actually because it's a lot about growing up in a very conservative, very Christian home and how that affected her and how she has like reckoned with that and found her own new relationship with it. And then also just growing up in the public eye and growing up as a woman. And she faced so much rejection that it is really harrowing and really shocking. Like
Ooh.
she auditioned for the Disney Channel show with like Christina Aguilera and Britney Spears, and
Yeah, yeah,
she is like
yeah.
one of three kids that didn't make it. Like there were like 18 of them or something in the camp to like go do it, and then they took 15 of them, and then three of them said no, and she was one of them. And like she said that experience made her not want to sing anymore. And just like the weird way that she had a whole music career and then became like actually famous when she had a reality show and then became like a TMZ tabloid person, and she was like, this was never really what I wanted. And she's much smarter than I think the image of her that's been portrayed. And she's not in show business anymore, so she goes in. Like she's
Ooh.
giving, yeah, she's giving. It's. I promise, it's really really good, and it's so shockingly well written.
Yeah. All right. All right.
That was
My
the longest promo.
great. It was great. She's coming on to the podcast next week.
So,
We'll
and
talk about
next week, Jessica. But Patty's memoir is even better, obviously, because
it's
there's
amazing.
just something about Patty LuPone where she's like, I'm just gonna tell it like it is, and she's had that seemingly since she was like, a teenager.
Yeah.
She's just like, there is no bullshit with me.
I used to listen to it at the gym, like everybody is listening at the gym. Um, People are like, man, listening to rock and rap and whatever. I'm listening to Patti LuPone talk about struggle. But it really
She's like,
fired me up.
yeah.
I listened to it twice. Once, yeah, I mean, like one time I just kind of came back to it and was like, oh, I'm just going to listen to a piece of this. And I ended up listening to the whole thing again over the course of a week or so. It's delightful. She's delightful. And I can't
It's
wait for you to see
so funny.
Company. It's the most insane production. The production itself, Bunny Christie, who designed the sets, it is one of the most technically astonishing things, definitely that I've ever been in. And two that probably I've ever seen. Which you don't think of when you think of Company. You think of like a black room with 8 chairs. This is a huge Broadway production, and it tells its own kind of story and makes its own kind of commentary. I won't tell you about the story. That's really really fascinating, and I'm delightful.
Okay, Gagatrandra. And it seems like things are cooking again. Like it seems like, I mean, people are out here getting vaccinated. Things are
Yeah,
happening.
yeah,
So
we're just waiting for them to make the plan, and every Broadway show is waiting to make the plan. They're all sort of figuring it out right now, but we'll be back for sure, and I have no doubt. And you know, I haven't even been back to my dressing room. I left my dressing room thinking I was coming back the next day, and now it's been a year and a month, and I still haven't gone back. I don't
saw
even
you.
know what's in there.
I saw you say that in another interview, and my first thought was like, "Dear God, I hope there's not like a pear sitting on that counter or something, just like
Somebody,
a
I
moldy."
guarantee they went back and like cleared out all the food from our fridges and stuff and kind
Oh,
of like,
good.
but I have all my opening night gifts are there sitting on shelves. It's so eerie. It's just
That is strange. That is so weird to think about all of these empty theaters just
Oof, it just,
sitting there.
yeah, it gives me chills. It's like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, truly.
Yeah.
What were your slumber parties like growing up?
Oh, okay. So I was Mormon kid, youngest of 8 siblings. My older
Youngest of
brother,
8, Clay?
yes.
My dad's like that too. He's also the youngest of 8.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're the best. Youngest of 8s are the
Yeah.
best. And my older brother is gay too. So slumber parties for me, the first slumber parties I remember were like me and my brother and my best friend who was a girl. And it was like very, very secret that my mom would let her come and have sleepovers because it was like not, that was hard, not allowed. But it's like my mom knew. She did. She had 2 gay sons at the end there. And we would listen to Judy Garland, like on the tape deck, and we would like listen to Judy Garland tapes or Edith Piaf records. We had Edith Piaf
Stop.
records at my grandmother's. Oh yeah, every day after school, my brother and I every day would come home and put on an Edith Piaf record or a musical or Judy Garland, and we would like have our snacks and do our homework. But we would stay up really late listening to music. And then in the middle of the night, we would sneak into the kitchen and bake things. And we would like, I remember one time when I was very young, we went and baked an apple pie in the middle at like 2:00 in the morning. And kind of to surprise my parents, but also kind of just because it was like we felt like we were being bad somehow. I don't, oh my God. Oh my God, I just heard myself say this. Other kids were like sneaking out to smoke pot with their friends. And I was like, I'm going to bake an apple pie.
That's breaking the rules for a gay child.
Oh,
It's
oh my
truly
God.
we're always telling ourselves this story that like we have to be good kids. So like that is breaking the rules, baking an apple pie.
I've never said that out loud before. And I'm so embarrassed right now that was my ultimate rebellion as a child. But it was, and that's what I remember. That's like the first sleepovers I remember were with my brother and my best friend. Because my brother and I were best friends. We're still very, very close. And so that's like what I remember.
This is my favorite part about doing this podcast, talking to gay people and unlocking memories like that. You just unlocked a memory for me that I want to share with you, which is so crazy. That feeling of like I don't want to do anything bad. My mom had this like remember Precious Moments? They were like little like those little dolls, ceramic, yeah, whatever they were. My mom had something similar to that, which was just like an Easter bunny carrying in a little basket an Easter egg, and she would put it out every Easter, and I wasn't supposed to play with it because it was, very breakable. And I was playing with it with my action figures. Like I was like having the X-Men fight it or whatever. And the wheelbarrow broke from the bunny's hands. I broke it. I felt, when I tell you, I like tortured myself over this. I'm sure that thing cost $15 maximum. Like it wasn't like super nice. It just was whatever. And I knew that I wasn't supposed to play with it. And I did anyway. I drew all these pictures and wrote my mom a letter apologizing to her. I was probably like 8 or 9. I drew this picture of Jesus.
I'm so excited. I'm so
excited. With the Easter bunny, with the barrel. And then next to it was a picture of the barrel with the Easter bunny, broken barrel next to the devil. I drew the devil. And then I put a circle around it and crossed it out and said, the devil is bad and I'm so sorry I followed the devil.
Oh my God, this is holy shit. That is so many layers of fucked up. That is so messed up. Oh
And
my
memory
God.
was buried so deep in me, and something about what you said just
Oh my
made it come
God.
up for
I'm
me.
like, I fully understand it though. Like I never
You're
did
baking
that.
apple pies as
Yes, that was
as your
like
naughty thing.
the
Yeah.
devil. Yeah, was like, oh my gosh. And it did always come down to like Jesus or the devil. It was very like,
Always.
yeah,
Yeah.
the devil was whispering in your ear, bake apple pies, play with the rabbit's
Rules.
wheelbarrow.
Put extra lard and sugar in
Uh,
it, Clay. Break the
he-
rules.
If only if I had to write a confessional letter to my mother now with pictures of Jesus and pictures of the devil, it would not involve a wheelbarrow and a bunny, and it would not be okay. Wow.
Oh my God. Wait, and your brother is 7 in line of the 8?
Seven
He's
of eight. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so cute. So you're like close in age.
Yeah. 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 With a little gaze at the end.
Oh my God, a little. Where does he live?
He lives in San Antonio with his husband, and they both work in hospitals. He's a psychologist, and his husband is a nurse. They're delightful.
Oh my God, that's so cute.
I'm singing and dancing and pretending to be other people, and they are literally saving lives. But it's great.
And you both just knew you loved Judy Garland. You were like, we're gonna put this on. There's something about this.
Yes. And we used to do musicals too. We used to put on musical productions in my parents' bedroom. They had this kind of big open area at the foot of their bed. And we would take the soundtrack to a musical and play it. And we would like lip sync and use mostly tablecloths to like make hair and dresses. But we did The Little Mermaid, and I was Ariel, obviously. And we did
Star's a star.
also we did Meet Me in St. Louis, the trolley song, and he was Judy Garland and I was everyone else in the song. That was his star moment. I remember them so particularly though, doing it and loving it, and like I couldn't wait to invite my parents in to come watch our performance.
That is so cute.
So,
Did you
it's
wear
like
wigs?
but no, we didn't have any wigs. We would wrap wrap the tablecloth around so it like around our head, tuck it behind our ears.
Oh my God. Speaking of what we were talking about earlier, Drag Race Thailand, there's a queen. The queen that wins is unbelievable. Wait, I just spoiled it for you. I'm realizing now if you're going to watch it. Okay, so I won't tell you her name. There is a queen that the assignment is to do like a drag reveal. And she comes out in a full, like one of those T-Rex, like
Blow up.
T-Rex,
Yeah.
yeah, blow up things. And then she moves out of the T-Rex and has a wig made entirely of towels and a dress made entirely of towels, being like, when I was a kid, this is how I did drag, was I made an entire outfit out of picnic table and towels, kind of a thing. I was like,
Oh my God.
this is so inventive, and so like we all relate. We all did that.
Yeah.
Put something on your head to pretend to be a wig.
Oh my God.
It's now time for the section of the pod called Wait, Let's Have Fun.
Okay.
In this section, we play some slumber party games, and I just came up with one for you because you told me you're a Judy stan. I have a Mary F. Kill for you.
All right.
Judy Garland films.
Ooh,
Meet Me in St. Louis.
Mhm.
A Star is Born. Wizard of Oz. You have to marry one, you have to F one, and you have to kill one.
Honestly, I hate to say it, but I would kill the Wizard of Oz. I'd kill the Wizard of Oz. I mean, I love it, but I am deeply passionate in love with the other two. Also, The Man That Got Away is I could watch it every day on repeat. And I did as a child. And I would say I would marry Meet Me in St. Louis because it's happier, it's cheerful. And then I would want to fuck Star is Born because it's dark and weird and sexy and, not weird, but it's darker and,
yeah, it's more fuckable for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
You're going to be really mad at me. I've actually never seen her Star is Born or Meet Me in St. Louis.
Oh, don't do this to me. No, I trusted you. I thought we were family.
I trusted you.
Okay, I'm gonna go listen to Jessica Simpson's book You are gonna watch Stars, the real A Star Is Born, the one.
Okay. Okay.
You go watch A Star Is Born. It's 18 hours long and so slow. Just watch the whole thing. I'm gonna read that book or listen to that book, and we will reconvene. And then
Okay. That's fair. That's only fair. Yeah, I don't know. And honestly, in my like gay knowledge, Judy, I've talked about this a lot on the pod, but Judy is kind of a blind spot for me. Other than Wizard of Oz, and I'm a huge Liza fan. Like love, love, love all of Liza's albums, but I just, yeah, something about Judy was never played in the home growing up.
yeah,
Yeah, I got to get into it.
I know I've heard every single recording of Judy Garland ever. I'm fairly certain.
Okay, I love that so much.
And that my brother and I.
If we were at a slumber party together, what YouTube video would you want to watch with me?
Yes, always. I would always watch.
This has been so fun, Clay. I could talk to you for so long. Where can the people find you if they want to follow you?
They can find me on Instagram is the best place at Claybourne Elder. Look for me there. Follow me there.
Great. And company's gonna come back, so get your
It's gonna
tickets.
come back. Also,
Let's go see it.
yes.
Also, what? Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say I just shot a TV show that's coming out next year that I can't talk about, so let's not talk about it. I just realized I'm not supposed to really talk much about it, but it's great.
Just
Yeah.
keep your TVs on, and if he comes across the screen, be
Watch
like,
Instagram. I'll tell you about it later.
yeah, perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much. You can follow me at tmurray06, everyone, and I am say it with me, tacky. So I am wearing my own merch right now. We have slumber party merch. There's a tote in the background. There's pillows, there's blankets. Get into it. And Clay, thank you. What a damn blast.
Pleasure. It was lovely to get to chat with you.
Yes, we'll see you guys on the flip side. Bye.